This meeting is being recorded for later viewing and is live on Zoom. And tonight, instead of just a direct quote, it's more of a question for you. So you can just
have
take
to
a moment.
answer?
No, you don't have to answer out loud. It's just a moment for you to have with yourself. What is a mistake you made and a lesson you learned from it? You can think about it later, write it in your journal before bed, but I like that one. All right. So we're going to jump into the meeting. The first is public and select board information that is not on the agenda tonight. Amy?
I have a couple things. This Friday at the Schoolhouse Museum is the Veterans Memorial
The 11th.
dedication.
Yes.
So on 11/11 at 11 a.m. If it's raining, it'll be at the Methodist Church. But forecast looks good
Yeah.
for now. And the reason we're here at the library is because there is an election tomorrow, and they have all their little booths set up over there. And just want to, kind of a gentle reminder to people, it's nice to see people supporting candidates, but you need to have permission to place signs on property, private property. They're really not allowed on public property. So all these signs going up, on public property, it's kind of a no-no. So,
Amy, could you speak up,
oh,
please?
sorry.
Or speak closer to the
Yeah,
mic?
sorry. Just saying about campaign signs, and it really shouldn't be on public property. And if they're on private property, you need to have permission of the property owner. Even if it's a vacant lot on some corner, you really should have permission. And I'm hoping after tomorrow that people will go collect their signs.
Oh, they must, yeah.
Yes, otherwise it's plastic litter everywhere, which is pretty awful. So,
Yeah.
So everyone, get out and vote tomorrow if you haven't already.
Thank you, Amy. All right, any other information? Not seeing any. We will move into the next item, which is a public hearing. We have two public hearings. The first one is a poll hearing request from NStar Electric, doing business as Eversource, for permission to install a 50-foot plus or minus 1 to 4 inches conduit from existing pole 43/7 to proposed handhole to be located at 345 Shirtlift Road. So when I looked, it looked like there was only one concern about the road being blocked during this, right? This is the one where the fire department requested.
And is this the one too where the DPW asked that they mole under if possible? And I think there's someone
From,
smiling there on the screen.
all right. Okay, do we have someone here from, NStar Eversource?
I think she has her hand
I
up.
think, you're on mute. Hold on, let's see if we can get you.
Thank you,
There you go.
Marissa Jackson from Eversource.
Great.
So we did receive a request to provide underground service to 345 Shirtlift Road. In order to provide that service, what we typically do is go from the closest existing pole along the roadway, which is 43/7, run the conduit under the road to a proposed handhole across the street, and make connections, provide the underground service. Now, that being said, we typically obstruct one lane of the roadway, and it was brought to my attention. I believe the fire chief wanted to be notified if there was any obstruction of the roadway. So if possible, my only request would be to make this a conditioned approval, and I'll make sure that's addressed with the fire chief prior to any construction or our trucks being there.
Okay, great. And what was the other one about the DPW, I mean?
Well, about it, you will be trenching underneath or molding under the road and not?
That's correct.
Okay.
We don't do the trench, we bore under the roadway.
Great.
If there's any change in plan, then we would stop construction and we'd have to, resume approval again.
Okay.
Good.
All right, I don't think we have any other questions, it looks like, nope. So,
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone
yeah, there's no hands up from public on this one.
public. No.
Do you need to vote? Do we vote on these?
Oh, yeah.
We
Yes,
do,
you do.
yeah, okay. So then I'll need a motion.
Let me go back here to I could do it once I find it here.
So, a motion to accept the poll hearing request from NSTAR,
To approve it.
to approve the poll, to approve
At 347.
347,
345
345 Short Lift Road.
Second.
All right, we'll call the vote. Jerry?
Yes.
Amy?
Aye.
Suzanne?
Yes.
And I. Now, it's not quite 5:45, does that matter?
It does for a public
Right,
hearing.
public hearing, we have to wait. Do we want to
Do something else?
do something else and then do that?
Yeah, do your first licensing and then go back.
Oh,
We
not
only
the
have
high
5
school.
minutes, so.
Oh, we could do the high school.
Yeah, why don't we, I'm gonna bump up, since we have a few minutes before we can do that other hearing, we're gonna bump up, under administrative matters is the update on Nauset Regional High School building project. And the vote to place Nauset Regional High School debt exclusion question on the ballot. Because we have some folks here, we don't wanna keep them super late either, so it'd be an opportune time. I'm gonna pass this to Jackie.
So I do believe that Superintendent Clenchey is on the line, but just in case, I did cover it in my town manager report. Basically, to go back over it, the general contractor bids were received on the 19th of October, and they were $29,675,835 over budget. So we have met as a school building committee and recommended a new figure of $38,100,000 to the school committee, and the school committee voted on that amount. That includes an additional contingency, some insurances and other items, but basically it covers that overage and gets us through to the end of the project. We also added, I think one other thing that was added into that figure was a little more FF&E and IT acceleration and cost. So the school committee voted to increase the borrowing authorization by the $38,100,000, and the district election for all 4 towns is scheduled for January 10th. Basically, the school committee went with their original mechanism. So I don't know if you remember, but we were, as TAs, we were kind of fighting over, what was the date? How did we do this? It was a district-wide election, and it was in March of 2021, and so we're going back out to the 4 towns in a district election, January 10th. So tonight, I'm going to ask you to place a ballot question in the town election, basically asking for the additional funds that are, if they are voted, to be debt excluded.
So it would be the Eastham portion of those.
That's the Eastham portion, and I do have the official ballot question from the school, too, which appropriates the sum of $38,100,000 for the purpose of paying costs of renovating, yada, yada. And it basically adds to that borrowing authority. So the voters will be asked in one ballot, do you want to increase the amount to $38 million?
Total.
Total. And will you allow Eastham to exclude its portion of the debt?
And that
2
amount.
questions.
Right, and that amount will be in the ballot. Okay.
So the election will be, basically voting hours will be 11 in the morning to 7 at night, just like we did the last time. You will have 2 ballots, one for the district school vote and one for the town vote, just like we did the last
And
time.
there's no early, there's no,
There is voting by mail,
yes.
yes.
Oh, we'll be able to vote by mail on that?
Yes, so
Oh,
the
great.
cards will go out, Cindy told me, I think the cards will go out as soon as they can, and
Cool.
there'll be
Cindy's a star.
there'll be a voting by mail period. There is no in-person early voting.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's the only thing we don't have. Brooke, do you want to add anything?
Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for having Chris and I here this evening. Chris Easley.
Oh, Chris too, welcome, Chris, sorry.
Committee. I think, Jackie, you summarized it very, very well. I think we're at a place right now in a difficult period of time, and these are the numbers that have come into us from the sub-trades and the GCs. We really feel that we don't have any option right now but to take this next step forward and have our voters tell us, speak their convictions and tell us what their thoughts are as we move forward. I think we're very, very proud of the work that we've done to date. If you've driven by the high school, you've seen that modular project. It's looking amazing.
It really is.
And it's going along very, very smoothly. Very, very pleased with it. So I think from our lens right now, I think the numbers as Jackie articulated them are spot on. Thank you for doing such a good job of that. The other thing I would say too is I'm very appreciative of our town administrators. We have been meeting with some regularity on this. In fact, we have another meeting coming up on Wednesday. And I've certainly sought their guidance and counsel during this time. And I would say that it has been pretty much unanimous as we have walked this pathway. So I'm incredibly grateful for that and most appreciative. So with that, I think that the other thing that we would want to suggest is that we come to do a full presentation before your
Yes.
committee at some point in time in the next month or so. And certainly provide more details, be open to more questions that you may have thought of between now and then in the spirit of transparency and honesty. So Chris, I don't know if I've captured everything in a nutshell with that, if there's a quick add-on that you'd like to give.
No. I think that's perfect, and we're not trying to rush this through, but we do have a 90-day deadline, which is part of the reason why there's a clock ticking, and so we are trying to meet that clock.
Thank you for mentioning that.
Oh, and thank you, Chris. One other thing that I did want to mention that I think is exciting news. I think it's not good that we're over budget. It's not good that we have to go back to the voters. It is good that our low bidder is Bright Construction, and they have just recently completed the Cape Cod Tech project, and I believe that was on schedule, very, very smooth, and obviously a beautiful result. So we have a really quality low bidder, which doesn't often happen in municipal construction projects, so we're very, very excited. And so that is the good news, if we can, and they have agreed to hold the bid for us. So that's why I think we're all kind of working so hard to get this in front of the voters in time. And as Brooke said, we really believe, the committee and the school committee, that this is, we can't cut this amount of money from the project. It really has to go before the voters, because we can't deliver what we promised without it.
I would completely agree. Thank you for adding that. I think that was really a key characteristic that helped with the decision-making for all of us, was that point, because we've already done some value engineering and made some cuts to try to keep this project on course in terms of the fiscal component. But this last piece of the sub-bids and the GCs was just too much. We couldn't do this alone. We needed to go back up to the voters.
Thank you very much, and thank you for adding that about the builder too, because I
Yeah,
think
no,
that's
he
such
did
an
there,
important,
great. Yeah.
it's very important. Do I have any other questions from the board? Jerry?
Yeah, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Okay. It would be fiscally irresponsible, especially for the $30 million overbid, to vote no on this, because you would eventually lose the state funding. It would be just a total mess. So that's where I stand. But I have a couple of questions on the $8 million above that. And the reason I asked it is, I had a question just before I left the Cape from an Eastham resident who had read the Provincetown Independent, who talked about having more modular units, which increase the cost and so forth. So is it possible today to get at least some answers a little bit on what's in that $8 million that's added on above 30 million?
Sure, I'll start to address it, but I think Jackie or Chris, any one of us probably could do that. Thank you for that question. So one of the modular, the interesting components about the modular project is initially they were looking at purchasing only 16 of them. And then along the way, the decision was made to purchase 37, because there were 37 that were available to us. What that did is shortened our project time, so actually saved money on the end part of the project, because we can house more students in the 37 modulars than if we'd only had 16. In fact, Chris, I think if memory serves me right, it carves off about a year of project time.
It went from 3 phases to 2 phases, conceptually.
Exactly.
Great.
So that's one of the reasons why we pushed the way that we did. With that came some additional expenditures, of course, but there is gonna be the savings, so to speak, on the other end of it. So thank you for that question. I don't know if I missed anything.
No, listen, thank you for that answer. I think that when you read things in the press, and this is no dump on the press, sometimes they don't have the full picture. They hear certain things, and it's out there in the public, and we're gonna have to go to the voters and say, here it is. So thank you very much. That really, I now can respond to my friend and tell them it's more on the front end, but a greater savings on the back end.
That's exactly right. And if I can just add one more thing to your as part of an answer to your question. Within the next couple of days, we will be sending out a newsletter from our offices that's just related to the NRHS update, the building update. And on there, we'll also have a matrix, if you will, of the breakdown of the 38.1 million into the key cost centers. So as soon as that's finished, we're just putting the finishing touches on it right now. We'll be sure to send it out to all of our town administrators, and they are certainly welcome to forward that to all of you.
Great. Great, thank you so much. Yeah, this was really helpful. Suzanne, yeah?
So this needs to pass again in all participating
Get
towns?
50, we just need 50+%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Majority.
Majority, simple majority.
Simple majority, not our kind
Yeah,
of.
and it's not by town, it's the straight, all the voters, everybody who voted
oh.
in the 4 towns, 50%.
Yeah, it's all
Oh,
collective.
Total,
Oh,
It's a weird thing.
was it like that the first time?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
And it was passed by an overwhelming majority.
Okay, good, yeah.
We did, actually, I think we got the
70%.
2/3.
Over
yeah.
70%.
Okay.
70.
That's overwhelming,
I
Jen.
know.
Yeah.
All right.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you so
So,
much.
do we need a motion for?
Oh, the
putting
ballot.
the,
Yeah.
Yes,
Both
you have to vote
questions.
to place.
each question?
Yes. I don't know if you have to vote because it's a district ballot, but why don't we do
Well,
it
let's do
anyway,
it,
just
yeah.
in case we have
All
to,
right,
sorry.
No, yeah.
I'll make a motion to place both the question to borrow and the question of approval, I guess,
Yeah.
on the town/district-wide ballots.
Thank you.
Second?
Okay,
Just do town to
Bond
town.
council will ask us for a more specific motion, so I think your motion ought to say something along the lines to approve the debt exclusion
Okay,
of authorized borrowing.
all right, I'll amend that to add the debt exclusion, approve the debt exclusion to authorize borrowing. Do I need to say the amount?
No.
No. Okay.
Second.
great. Okay, we'll call the vote. Jerry?
Yes.
Amy?
Aye?
Suzanne?
Yes.
And I. All right, great. Thank you so much for being here to speak to that. Thanks, Jackie.
Do we
Thank
need,
you
Thank
for
you.
having us this evening. We
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it. And thank you for moving us up on your agenda. Much appreciated.
Good luck in
Have a great
Brewster.
night. Thank you, everyone.
And we look forward to coming back a little later on so we can have a further discussion.
Will do.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
do we need to vote on the date?
The date?
No. Do we-
Okay.
Wait a minute, I wish Cindy had sent me a memo. I don't think so.
No, I think it just says vote to place
I think
question on the ballot.
that's all you have to vote on.
Okay.
If we have to vote on the date, you can do it
Next
next
meeting.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Select board has to approve a town election, right? Is that the town election?
But Cindy didn't give me any language to approve. She set the date.
It's not really a town election, is it? It's a
Yes,
district.
it's a
No,
town
debt
election.
exclusion's a town.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So you voted to place the question on
Ballot.
the ballot. So why don't we vote to hold a town election from 11 to 7 on January 10th, 2023, just in case. Can't hurt.
I'll make a
Yeah,
mo,
Well, it's Rich saying that we have to have a separate vote on the exclusion, the debt exclusion?
That-
So the town
not
has
as-
to vote yes on the borrowing and then yes on the debt exclusion?
Yes, that's correct. So one is a district ballot and one is a town ballot. And now we're going to vote to
Hold the election.
hold a town election on January 10th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Right. Okay,
All right, so I'll make a motion.
I so move.
Oh.
We hold the town election,
Been easier.
hold the town election on January 10th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. to vote on the debt exclusion and also the district-wide ballot for the school borrowing.
Second,
Great. We'll call the vote. Jerry?
Yes.
Amy?
aye.
Suzanne?
Yes.
And I.
Okay,
All right, we have voted again.
that should cover us.
I think we're good. All right, so now we are after 5:45, so we can do the second poll hearing. Request from Verizon New England and Enstar Electric, doing business as Eversource, for permission to place one jointly owned pole 6/8.5 at 250 Governor Prince Road. And this one, I did not see any
No
issue.
issues.
No, didn't seem like it.
Yeah,
No issues.
so then I just need a motion.
Just to prevent sagging.
Yeah.
I move
So-
we, do we need to open it or anything? You just need a motion?
Yeah,
just
or you
need-
could ask if anyone wants
Yeah, I
to.
don't think anyone had any hands up.
Okay. I move that we accept,
Approve.
approve.
Do you have a hand up?
We do have one hand up. Okay.
Oh, we do have a hand up. Can't see anything, okay.
Verizon rep,
I'm sorry?
Oh, it's the Verizon.
Verizon rep.
Oh, sure, yep, we can bring them in.
Who's in?
Okay,
Muted, I think.
Ross.
There we go.
Yes, good evening.
Hi.
Ross Billington, representing Verizon New England. I obviously have no gripes with this poll. I'm just here to answer any questions if need be.
Okay, it looked like everything was smooth, so we're gonna move forward with the vote then. So thanks for being here, Russ.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Okay,
I'll try again.
okay.
I move we approve the poll hearing request for 250 Governor Prince Road.
Second,
All right, we'll call the vote. Jerry?
Yes.
Amy?
aye.
Suzanne?
Yes.
And I. All right, great.
Just so you know, there's been so many requests this year. and We've done so many public hearings, and we pay for all the mailings and the abutters notices, that Lori is making a request that we set a fee in our fee hearing this winter for poll hearings.
I think that would be supported. Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on to licensing.
All right.
First, we have the renewal of the common victular licenses for Fat Mike's Pizza, doing business as Red Barn Pizza, Chase's Dad, doing business as Local Break, Little Dory's Cafe, doing business as Casa del Cabo, Sabco LLC, doing business as Bosco Grill, and Wellfleet Harbor Seafood Company, Inc., doing business as Max Market and Kitchen, and Orleans Eastham Elks Lodge, 2572.
And the soubrette.
Did I miss that?
We don't have the.
It's in the packet.
We don't have it.
I don't have it on.
It's on the list in the
It is on the
packet.
packet.
Oh,
It's not on the agenda, though.
well, add it, if it's in the packet and the application was complete, then
Yeah.
it should be here.
Okay, and the Eastham Superette, it was in the packet, you're right. Okay,
So I'll make a motion to approve those common victular licenses as stated.
okay, can I have a
Second.
second? One thing I am gonna just bring up, there was an issue, and usually they do like a phenomenal job with all the stuff that they do for, on the Casa del Cabo one. Their application looked like it was like an old application from an,
Oh, that's weird.
yeah.
Handwritten changes.
Yeah, which is fine. My only concern was that, I just wanted to, I know sometimes we are a little strict on hours of entertainment, but when it's inside, I know that it's a different time. On here is 12:30 a.m. Is that
To 11,
usually when it's
Yeah.
outside, we say, I did this, Mark, the red. So usually when it's outside, I think it's 11 p.m. limit, but if it's inside, I don't think we've,
I don't think we've ever gone to 12:30 in the morning.
yeah, neither
Ever.
did I. And I don't know if that,
Can you remember any? No.
no.
No, well,
Well, actually, I can too, kind of,
yeah,
but
what was the one that was there many years ago? Before Carew, before
Beach Break.
Arturo, Beach Break, they had some issues
But,
late.
you know, we have a
So
lot
we
of
brought them
housing right
back.
there,
It's a
too.
wild
That's
time.
a lot.
No, there's no housing. Well, yes.
No.
There is.
Well,
there,
across the,
Village
Yeah.
behind, yeah.
It's right there.
but I just, I mean, I hate to,
Yeah, 12:30 is a little late. to be-
12:30 is a little late, but I think 11 might be a little early for, if it's inside, right? What is last call? 1? I've never-
One is and
Close
close. Usually people do last calls,
at 12:30.
yeah.
I go to bed at 8, so I can't.
I
I
know.
know. This is the wrong crowd for this
I mean-
question.
So
I
ridiculous.
guess another question is Casa del Cabo ever open that late?
Right.
Not that to my
That's a
knowledge, and
surprise.
that's why I was surprised by
I
it, and I
think-
just like to be consistent when we're
Well,
making decisions.
fair.
So what we can do is you can, who did the red? Did you do the red?
I did the red is
Okay.
me, so the little X's, that's all them.
So I think it sounds to me like, or it looks to me like they took the Provincetown application and they changed the things that they wanted to change, and they did not change that. So I think it's up to you guys. I mean, clearly, we can go that late if you want to, but I
Yeah.
don't think we have ever, that I've been here.
I know. I mean, if it's inside music, I can see us going later than 11.
So,
But-
yeah, now I'm really confused because the first page says near the bottom, the hours of operation, Monday through Sunday, 11:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. But then it says days and hours of alcohol service. So
So-
1
they
a.m.
stop serving food at 9 and keep serving
Let's,
alcohol for 4
we
hours?
have plenty of time, because
Okay. Yeah.
this is next year's list.
Yeah, I think
So
this
let's
is
pull this one,
Okay.
and we'll keep it, and
Get
we'll
them
ask
to
some
do
questions.
a neater
Yeah.
application, maybe.
Yeah, because I think they do a great job, and they're usually present and provide a lot of information. I think this just might be a little confusing, the way it is. And like I said, I just want to be consistent with how we approach that stuff.
Okay, I have a question in general on some of them where they say hours of operation, Monday to Sunday from whatever the hours, and they are closed certain days of the week. These hours that we have on these licenses, those are ones where that's the max.
Max.
That's what they can do, they can
Right.
reduce it beyond, there's no problem, okay, that's
Correct.
all,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep. Okay, so now we have the motion to approve. Should we approve CASA or pull it?
I wouldn't, I would
Let's pull
wait,
it.
because
Okay.
there's plenty of time. You have like
Okay.
3 meetings before the end of the year.
Okay,
Right. I'm not sure you got a second on that one anyway.
Right.
okay.
So I'll go ahead and make motion to approve common victular licenses for the Red Barn, Local Break, Bosco Grill, Max Market, Elks Lodge, and the Superette.
Perfect. Any second?
I'll second that,
Okay, and we'll call the vote. Jerry?
yes.
Amy?
Aye.
Suzanne?
Yes.
And I. Great. Sorry about that, but thank you for.
No, thank you for pulling that up. That was
Yeah.
good.
All right.
So that, I have a question.
Yeah.
So it said hours of operation, that was the issue, didn't match the same as the alcohol. Do we allow,
They can be different.
they can be different?
It's just on the license, you want to make sure that, the business owners generally want the maximum that they
Right.
can be open.
Right,
They ask for that.
okay,
But we worry about entertainment and alcohol.
right.
I mean, if people want to serve food until 11:30 or 12:30
great.
at night, it's-
That'd be
we
great.
don't generally
I
worry
wish more
about it.
would.
I
I
really,
know. After 8 would be nice.
Yes.
After 8
On those
would be
late nights
great.
where we
But
stay up till
especially if they're
that.
After town
serving
meeting.
alcohol, they should be serving food. You
Right.
can't be serving alcohol without having food.
Because then you're a bar and we don't
We
have
don't
them,
that.
Right.
Okay,
so.
all right. And with that, renewal of all alcohol on-premise liquor licenses. So we have local break. So again, with Casa del Cabo, I don't think that that will affect this. I think we can approve the liquor license, right?
No, I think it's
Yeah.
in the reverse. No, I'm sorry.
I think to hold vote both, because they
Yeah,
are
hold
tied.
both,
They're
because they
tied.
are tied together, and we just
Okay.
want to clarify what they want before we issue the license
Okay.
anyway.
So then just local break and the Elks Lodge on this one. So I'll just need a motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the all alcohol on-premise liquor license for Local Break and the Elks.
Oh, second.
Great. Call the vote. Jerry?
Yes,
Amy?
Aye.
Suzanne?
Aye.
And aye. Okay. Renewal of all alcohol off-premise liquor license. Now, should the superette be in here also,
They should be.
right?
They are on here.
So
They're
just-
on the one in the packet.
Right,
Gosh.
right,
It's
exactly.
not on the agenda.
Right.
All
I
right,
don't
so I'll
know
make a
why Lori
motion.
likes the superette. I don't know why she kept reading.
I'll make a motion to approve the all alcohol off-premise liquor licenses for Town Center Package Store, the Eastham Superette.
Second.
Second.
I'll second that.
Right, and we'll call the vote. Jerry?
Yes,
Amy?
Aye.
Suzanne?
Yes.
And aye. Okay. Next, renewal of beer, wine, and malt on-premises liquor license. We have Red Barn, Bosco Grill, and Max Market and Kitchen. I think that's right.
Superette
Alright.
doesn't do on.
So I'll make a motion for beer, wine, and malt on-premise liquor license for Red Barn, Bosco Grill, and Max Market and Kitchen, sorry.
Second.
Okay, and we'll call the vote. Jerry?
yes,
Amy?
Aye.
Suzanne?
Yes.
And aye. Okay. So same here, renewal of annual entertainment license, we're gonna hold Casa del Cabo, and so it's just Eastham Elks Lodge 2572.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the annual entertainment license for the Elks.
Second.
All right, we'll call the vote. Jerry?
yes,
Amy?
Aye.
Suzanne?
Yes.
And aye. Okay,
I-
great.
I have a question, though.
Yeah.
So is it part of the application to submit their menu?
Yes, to show what food they're serving alongside alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Unless they do it under the common vic. So if we already have it, we
Right.
don't ask them for it again.
Right. This was early Jamie days. We just tightened it up.
No, it was
It's always
good.
been like, yeah. So now we always like to make sure that we have a reference with like a floor plan so we can see where alcohol is being served, how people are being seated. We can have a menu to see what food is being served along with alcohol so people aren't drinking to excess and have no food to
Right.
offset that.
Okay.
So we require all those things to be submitted at the time of approving a renewal or a new license.
Okay.
All right.
It was just like,
Yeah,
and
you're like,
this
well,
is-
I don't understand why it's all here. Yeah.
It took like 2 years for us to
It was,
get it.
yeah, it was a lot. But it's great.
Very confusing process.
Yeah, so there's a lot of information included usually, but it's consistent now, which is great.
Okay.
So everybody should have the same things, check the same boxes. All right, so we are on to administrative matters.
Great.
All right, just moving right along. So Select Board FY '24 Budget Policy. Is that, Rich, do you can run that, or did you want to speak to that?
Well, it was in your packet, your budget policy. It's pretty much the same policy that you've had the last 2 fiscal years, which is, we're asking our departments to present budgets that are level service, so the same programs that they've been running, with the same staff. And there is a provision, we've kind of already started the process, we've let them know that that's how we'd like to see it. But also if there's opportunities for some additions that they'd like to see, that kind of be presented separately. so we can balance the budget with the core services you've had for the last several years, and then where there's an opportunity, we'd potentially add the additional requests.
Great. So should we be approving this then, voting on, to approve the policy each year, or is it
If you
just
agree on that.
Or accept.
accept the policy again? Okay. All right, if it suits the board, I'll take a motion.
All right, I'll make a motion that we, what is it?
Accept?
Accept or
Adopt.
set?
Adopt.
Adopt, thank you. Good. All right, I'll make a motion that we adopt the budget policy statement for fiscal year 2024. My God, 24.
Second.
Awesome.
Okay.
Sorry, Jerry.
Jerry, we'll call the
No,
vote.
no, that's fine.
All right.
We voting?
Yep.
Yes. I
Okay.
vote yes.
Amy,
Aye.
Suzanne,
Yes.
and I. All right, next is to revisit the select board goal setting.
So with your permission, I'd like to push that off to the next meeting. I have finished a draft of what I think would be good for your goals that include sort of what we've been doing and then some additional ones. But I did not finish it in time to get it into your packet, so.
All right. A Thanksgiving treat.
A Thanksgiving treat, yeah. I think it's nothing new. Well, talk about it later.
Next
I have a
week.
couple of,
All right. Next is the letter to Eversource with comments on 5-year vegetation management plan. So we had pulled the letter.
I'm sorry, we did have to submit it
Yep,
because it
because
was
it
before
was
this
cut off,
deadline.
yep.
And they did acknowledge receipt, so that's good.
And I
Great.
think they extended the deadline.
Oh, they did?
I can't remember where I saw
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah,
They probably
I
got
saw
it.
where they
They got
extended the
the
deadline.
message that
That
the
is good.
secret public
It's in
hearing.
December
was-
now, I think.
Yeah.
I appreciate the CCs also.
But one thing it wasn't, I didn't, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, in the letter, we were going to have put in there that we would do cutting.
Suggest that we would do the cutting.
Did you put it in there?
I didn't.
Okay.
You want me to reprise it? I could just say, just in case it matters, we'd be happy to help.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
I think knowing
Just to
that we were
offer-
willing to do it, it doesn't cost them anything, so.
Because I feel like if you're going to point out a problem, it's always better when you can offer a
It
solution.
is, it is. I'm sorry, you're right.
Oh, no, it's okay.
I was interested in, I read it, I can't remember which paper, that Harwich has gardens, community gardens underneath they work with Eversource. to be able to
Dennis
put them
does
out
too. Yeah, Dennis does too.
there. Dennis does too. I don't know if that's something, well, you would need citizens to be willing to do that, but that might be something as well to look into. I don't necessarily think you put it in the letter because we don't have anybody lined up to do it.
Well,
We have town-owned
actually, the
parcels,
Tea
so-
Time Committee was talking about that for tea time, for under the power lines,
Really?
because it's a lot of space, it's a lot of land that we can't use for a lot of different things, but we can use for that, so. You just have,
Could you use it- Crazy question, could you use it for a road between Brackett and Teton?
no, you can't use it for a road that the public crosses over.
Okay. All right. Hey, we're worth the question, worth the ask.
If we asked to get access to a certain thing, they would maybe allow us to use it, but the public can't use it. Like, we share the Eversource Road out to the water, past the water tower. We have some land, and they will allow us to use their road to do that, but
Right. Thank you.
All right. So then, we already did the high schools. So next is going to be committee appointments. We have Cultural Council, Suzanne Heglin, Open Space Committee, Krista Drew. The Eastham representative to the Cape Light Compact Commission, Tom McNellis, which was great.
great.
And the alternate Eastham representative to Cape Light Compact Commission is Gary Senecal.
Oh, great.
And, oh yeah, it's not part of that. That's it.
So can we do them all at once, you think?
So,
All right, I'll make a motion to approve, all stated to,
as stated.
as stated, yes.
Second?
Second.
Okay, and we'll call the vote. Jerry?
Yes.
Amy?
Aye.
Suzanne?
Yes.
And I. So the next is the MMA annual meeting select board attendance. So Lori is looking to find out who is able to attend the meeting, which is the date.
Question I have is, what is,
Okay.
I'm the new guy on the block. What
Oh.
is- what-
Oh, we'd be delighted to tell you about it. So it's the state organization for public officials from the municipalities. So finance committees go, select boards go, county commissioners go,
City
town
council.
officials like TAs and assistant TAs and department heads go. There's a lot of workshops. There's a lot of social networking events. It's a huge event. Mostly, I find it useful to connecting with colleagues that I haven't seen, or innovations, or one of my favorite workshops that I haven't been to in the last couple of years is the legal overview for the past year, where they kind of tell you all the changes that have been made or decisions. So there's all kinds of stuff. And then there's the big fair that just is all kinds
show.
of.
Trade show.
Yeah, trade show, all kinds of services and products that are available to municipalities. So usually we do go. Eastham is very well represented. Usually it's members of the board, their spouses, partners, significant others, or best friends. And I usually offer it to at least one department head, sometimes two.
I should be able to go. I thought.
And we haven't been in person in a couple of years, so this will be nice.
2020.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell Lori that I can go.
You can't
You're gonna go?
I can. Yeah, I initially thought I couldn't, but I'm gonna tell her that I.
Yeah, it's a good junket.
So it's Thursday night and Friday
A
night.
good show.
Some people stay over Saturday night. It really ends late Saturday afternoon. And it's very self-contained because we stay at the Sheraton and everything is at the Heinz.
So you don't
And
even have
then
to go
there's a
outside
whole-
if you don't want to.
You can literally walk for
No, it's serious.
5 miles through the mall that's attached to the other side of the Heinz.
So there's a bunch
and-
of restaurants in there.
Not
Nice-
go
Nice
outside.
restaurants. There's one particular across the street that we do head to.
Are you guys going?
And I love the brunch. What is that one? The women,
Oh, the women's-
WeMo luncheon,
women's,
the women's
elected
municipal
Officials lunch, that's fabulous.
One
They
of
have
you
great-
usually invites
great
me to that.
speakers.
wait,
Well,
you have to
our
be invited?
I'm
KP
not an elected
KP
official.
Law usually has a table,
Oh.
so that usually gets us in.
I'll invite you.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
So
If you can
basically,
go,
if you want to
Suzanne, it's
register
good.
for the
There's good
conference, or you
workshops
want a hotel room, you have to tell Lori and just tell her, what
Okay.
you would like.
Okay, I just sent the email.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's worth going. It's really neat.
Okay.
It's really cool. And that luncheon, to go to that luncheon is, you have to let Lori know about that if you want to go, Suzanne, because she has to reserve the ticket.
Plus, it is unusual, Jerry, for us to be able to spend time together. So, it's nice.
Understood.
Team building. We do a trust fall at the end.
Has Art been able to go
That's fun.
since he's been select? I don't think so. I think we crashed the
Did he
first
not
year.
go?
I don't think so. He
I feel
hasn't
like he
been.
went
Yeah,
one
I
year.
have.
Once,
He went
maybe.
once.
He's been on for 2 years. He's
Yeah,
been on
so-
the board for 2 years.
Oh,
He's up next year, this is first term, yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
he's.
Okay, so,
all right. Town administrators report.
okay, so I have a few things. So I did have my first item was that Shana and I are going to be going to the Climate Action Committee meeting this month, and they have been working on some goals. I had a wonderful meeting with Roberta Longley, their chair, the other day, and so I feel really good that they're going to be able to help us achieve some goals for the town. We're going to be able
That'd be
to
great.
keep them busy with a few projects, and they're really earnest and extremely talented intellectual group that is looking to serve, so. And I want to tell you that something that's not in my report is that Eastham will be hosting at the tea time Eastham Light Up the Night.
Oh, they,
Eastham
Oh,
Light,
Rick,
the Eastham Light Up the Night event will be happening December 17th. In the late afternoon, it's going to have kid and family activities, some food and drinks, and lots of lights. So basically, Christine Mickle and the rec department is taking that wonderful Wiley Park display, and we're gonna move it to tea time and,
December 17th,
December 17th.
late afternoon.
Yeah, and they're talking about building little gingerbread houses to be lit up too. I don't know.
It's like it's dark at, what, 2:30 now? So-
Yeah, so we could have it between 4 and 6 and it would be fine. They did say something about a big, lighting up time, so. Yeah. We won't have to worry about the Casa del Cabo being open. And we were awarded $76,000 for economic development through the state's One Stop for Growth program. This is going to be used to continue some of our zoning changes, specifically the form-based code that we've all been waiting for years. Art's going to be so excited. We have been notified that we have been made it, I'm sorry, inarticulate tonight. We've made it into the second round of the county ARPA mid-size competitive grant funding for our 4-town health and human services grant.
oh, cool.
So that's very exciting because a lot of projects got eliminated in that first round.
How many rounds are there?
2. So
Okay.
this is it.
This is the round.
This is the biggie.
We made it to the final round.
Okay, and then.
So they
if-
consider us a serious application.
Okay, and then
Now we
we'll
have
get notice of a yes or a no?
Yes or
Okay.
no? And we've asked for $500,000, so.
Okay.
We covered the master, this Nauset
Cool.
building, so I think that's it.
All right.
Oh,
I have
we
one
were
quick
designated a
question.
green
Did
community.
you ever get a hold of the realtors, and read their opposition to our charter change?
Yes, so I'm gonna do an update on all of our legislative options next time, next meeting, but Lauren and I did have a great meeting with, you can't believe I say these things, like, I was not looking forward to this meeting, but, he was an amazing advocate for housing, actually, and Lauren and I really learned a lot from him. And we have some good ideas based on that conversation. However, it's not positive for our ability to achieve that without opposition. So I think we are going to be discussing pulling that piece of legislation and either bringing it back in some other form or, but at least I understand what the
Issue is.
issues are, yes.
And that's just for raising
The
the
AMI.
CPA percentage,
Yes.
not
Yes.
the housing trust part of it or any of that.
No, the housing trust bill is moving forward fine. And the community fund legislation is moving along fine. They're all in their third reading, so they're moving quite rapidly. So we'll talk about it more in depth, but it was interesting, and I wanted to write it up in a staff memo for you, the comments that he made, because basically, what he's saying is that the CPA legislation, the 40B legislation, and the Affordable Housing Trust legislation are all tied together with the same framework. If you start messing with one in terms of guidelines, it affects the other two. And so they will fight to the death to avoid that because it's put in place to protect the very lowest economic rung. And there are many communities, unlike Eastham, who really would work to prevent true affordable housing from coming to their communities. So they
so
do
that
not want
paves
to
the way
let
for
us
that to
set a
happen.
precedent. Yes.
I gotcha.
That just
So-
clicked, okay.
Yeah,
So-
that,
so
until you
once-
said that, I
Yeah.
was like,
So
Yeah.
once we got into that part of the conversation, so. But he gave us some other ideas too, so that was good.
Great,
So we'll do that next time.
all right. So then,
Well, Green Community, that was, you
Oh, Green
blurted that
Community,
out,
yeah.
and then we moved.
I'm sorry, we
No,
got
no, no.
notice and then they told us not to tell anyone, but we are officially a green
It's a
community.
secret. Wow.
Yes, and so,
Jeez, how long's it been, Jackie, since we've been?
oh my God, well, Rich was the one who
Yeah.
kind of translated between the green community people and, but now we have to dust off our plan and start applying for some funding.
Yeah, cool.
So that's the next step, we'll have to revisit that with you guys.
it's great news.
So that's gonna be on our goals this year.
All right. New upcoming agenda items and needed follow-up. Seems like the goals is gonna be the big one. So,
And I will get you a legislative update on all those other items, because certain pieces are moving.
great. I think as far as the emails go, we can remove the Stephanie Ebert one. That's been followed up.
We've actually managed to move a couple of them, I think.
Yeah, so maybe talk to Lori about the ones that need to go. Okay.
Jerry did a great job with the housing response, nice
Yes, you
job.
did.
Yep.
Well,
Thank you.
It was a
yeah, I
good
hope I
one.
didn't mess up too much on it, but.
You didn't mess up at all. And I guess for a new agenda item, I do want to tell you that I'm working on a communication plan for the town, and Rich and I have been trying to open up some staff time so that we could get some dedicated staff. But one of the things that Lori and I were talking about for the new communications plan in person was to have some, not stock responses, but it takes a lot of time to
Yes.
formulate these responses. And if you think about it, a lot of them are in
question.
certain categories. So it would be pretty easy to have a person, if we had some
Yeah.
specific responses, like the housing response was perfect, but it goes over a lot of things. We don't want to have to do that over and over again. So that's what I'm trying to think about, like if you think about roads and Route 6 and all of the issues that come up periodically. So I think that will help us if we have a point person and some responses that are agreed on.
Yeah, and it'll quicken the response time as well. That'll be a plus.
Yes.
All right. So then I think we can move on to minutes.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve, I believe we have 2 sets. Oops, what did I do here? From October blah, 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 17th, regular session, and October 24th, regular session. Motion to approve both those.
I'll second.
Great. We'll call the vote. Jerry?
Yes.
Amy?
Aye.
Suzanne?
Yes.
And aye. Okay, other business. I was just gonna mention about the letter that the town of Eastham's been approved to purchase market-sized oysters directly from growers. So aquaculturists in the town can sell market-sized to the town.
Yep,
For-
that's what they're putting out for Oyster Sunday.
Okay.
Boy, there were some good ones. It was yesterday, wasn't it? Seems like a long time ago because it was 6 a.m. yesterday morning.
I know,
We were
that
done
was
it.
an early.
We got some as big as my hand.
Those are good to grill.
Yeah,
Actually,
well, we
you
pan
can-
fry, you pan fry.
Oh, God, like a pancake. Ooh.
Right, you need a knife and fork to eat them.
Are you okay, Suzanne?
I'm
Not
not a
quite.
huge fan of the big ones.
Yeah, that's,
No, not,
No,
I mean,
no,
they're
I
too big
know.
to
Oh, no,
choke
no, no.
down
I
raw.
fried them once, so maybe it was just my lack of skill of doing it. But I was like, this is.
Chewy.
But no, it's, and I talked to Scott Richards was there, and he said that grant that we helped dismantle a bunch
Oh,
from
yes.
that also. Those were
Oh,
the really
good.
big old, they had barnacles on them.
You've just been happily oystering there.
Yeah, and he said they counted the rings and one had to be over 10 years old.
wow,
It was just a monster.
cool.
Very cool.
Did someone eat it though, or just put it back?
No, they probably ate it.
They probably ate it. Oh,
They made a
poor little-
pancake out of it.
poor little
I
oyster.
we didn't get that one. we got.
We could have
Not as big as
kept it
mine.
and made it be like a 50-year-old oyster. How
Right.
long
Could
do
have
they
been our
grow?
mascot.
Get the turnip king.
That's
one year. Okay.
About 140 people showed up at.
Oh,
Oyster
that's
Sunday,
great.
so,
Unbelievable.
Wow.
It's a big, big deal.
Yeah, it was fun. It was, t-shirt weather.
Wow. Crazy, that's been weird. Great. Okay, so unless there's any other business, we
We'll
can,
make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
okay. Called vote, Jerry,
Yes.
Amy,
Aye.
Suzanne,
Yes.
and I. We are adjourned.